World Development Report 2014, Risk and Opportunity. When risks exceed national capacity, the role of the international community, with Inki Otker-Robe, lead author, World Development Report 2014.
International community has a very important role in the process of development and risk management. First of all, we say in the report that unmanaged risks do not recognize boundaries, and financial crises and pandemics, once initiated, they can circle very quickly around the globe in an interconnected world. And failing to address these risks, in fact, poses a significant challenge to the goals that the international community is trying to achieve, ranging from reducing extreme poverty into boosting shared prosperity and ensuring that the income distribution around the world is as equal as it can be. But these risks cannot be handled alone by agents or countries. And we argue in the report that such risks, managing these risks, require the existence of international community, not only for cross-border risks, but also for risks that are just too large for a country to deal with on its own. In the report, we argue that the international community can support the risk management process by providing and disseminating global knowledge and expertise, by facilitating collective action across nations in order to implement rules that may actually reduce the probability and severity of these risks. Also by supporting the capacity to cope with a crisis that provide facilitating the global resources in order to help the countries that suffer these risks. The World Development Report argues that the international community has not been very effective in managing risks that cross national boundaries. And there are a number of important constraints that undermine the effectiveness of its involvement. These range from the lack of resources and lack of capacity that some poor countries, developing countries still face, cognitive and behavioral failures in understanding how these risks emerge and how it can be managed. In addition, political economic constraints and some diverging national interests that provide an obstacle to collective action. The World Development Report 2014 argues that scaling up risk management requires a cohesive international community which share common goals and enable its actors to move collectively, including by facilitating sharing of information, by putting more resources into capacity building, and by protecting the most vulnerable. In fact, in Indonesia in 2004, the international assistance worked together with the national authorities in order to establish early warning systems and rebuild infrastructure in order to reduce the vulnerability to future risks. So it's one of the very successful experiences. But the international community also needs to be able to have the capacity to engage and enforce international agreements through some creative mechanisms, even when some of the countries, because of the diverging incentives that they have, are unwilling to cooperate.